everyone, and welcome back to another lesson. So, moving away from iterators, I've been talking about a couple of lessons ago. We are moving on to JavaScript generators, and this is another aspect of the JavaScript programming language. So, we are going to be looking at what a generator is in JavaScript. Actually, it deals with function, and we are going to, see practical examples. We are going to understand in details what a generator is in JavaScript and its usefulness, and perhaps, how it can be used in the context of a program or a code. So it also has methods which we are going to be looking at, as we go on in the lessons. So let's start by discussing about what a generator is in JavaScript. Now, before we talked about what a generator function is, I want to quickly read from what I have here on the screen. A JavaScript function can only return one value. A JavaScript generator can return multiple values, one by one. A JavaScript generator can yield a stream of data. A JavaScript generator can be paused and resumed. Now, if you pay attention or looked at what I just read now, one thing is clear, and that is the fact that generator has to do with function in JavaScript. And that is why the first line says a JavaScript function can only return one value. In the concept of the traditional value function in JavaScript, you can only return, one value. It does not matter whether that value contains different items or different elements. You only return once. But in case of a generator can return multiple values one by one. And you will see how it can do that in the example that will follow this video. Now, a JavaScript generator can use a stream of data. So a JavaScript generator is useful for things like, let's say you have a large file and you want to read it stream by stream, like batch by batch. A JavaScript generator is good for something like that. And it can be paused and resumed. So that function itself, that JavaScript generator, can also be paused and resumed. And you will see how that can be done in, and in the example that will follow this particular lesson. Now, generator functions. A generator function is defined using the function asterisk syntax. And here's an example: function asterisk my generator. Then you can see the opening and closing brackets as well as the curly braces to denote or signify that this is actually a function. So if you look at what is here right now, what makes it different from a normal function is just this asterisk. You see that this is just a normal function in JavaScript, but with this asterisk, this is what makes it a generator function. Now, when called, a generator function returns a generator object, not a direct value. So unlike a normal JavaScript function that returns one value, in case of a generator function, it returns a generator object and not a direct value. I'll say an example here. You can see value is 1, done, false. Now, let's move on from generator functions and talk about its generator object. A generator object is returned by the generator function, which means that when you run a generator function, what it will give you is a generator object. So I hope you can see the link between both of them now. So a generator object is a result returned from a generator function. Now, what then is a generator object? A generator object is returned by the generator function. It conforms to both the iterable and iterable protocols, meaning it can be iterated over using form of loops. Now, remember in about a couple of few videos that we had in the past when we were talking about iteration and iterables in JavaScript, I quickly want to bring it back to our memory that when we talked about the upper iterators API in modern JavaScript, where we have all this the from method, the take method, define method, map, filter method, etc. like that. Now, you will notice that under the concept of iterator, we were told that an iterator has two properties. Number one is the value, and the number two thing is done. And now that done signifies when that done represent a state of whether element is still remaining inside a process or it has finished. For example, when there are still elements to be iterated over, then done will be false. And when there are no more elements to iterate over, then it will be true. Which means that done property has just that true value. It can either be false or true. And then the value property, which allows the iteration to be done on whatever it is that you want to iterate over. So now, they are now saying that a generator object conforms both to the iterable and iterator protocols. And that protocols is what means that whatever iterator or iterable process must have those two properties, the value and the done. So the generator object conforms to it as well, which makes it valid or eligible for the use of for-of loops on its element or on its children or item or whatever that we want to call it. So it's a line and it follows the iterable and iterator protocols, and that is what makes it valid for the use of for-of loops. And in the example that will follow this, we will see how the for-of loops can be used over a generator object and over JavaScript generator. So now we've been able to talk about what a JavaScript generator is, how its functions looks like, and also the expected return from a generator function. So now this is all about what we are going to be talking about it for now. And as we begin to see examples, then you understand in greater detail how this works in JavaScript and its usefulness in programming, which is JavaScript as a whole. So until then, I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.